Anime for Blondes.
This episode goes out to the Shisui shippers.
Yes.
Happy Pride Month to you guys specifically.
Action! Hello, I'm Becca.
And I'm Ali.
And welcome to Anime for Blondes.
the girly pop podcast made for girls, gays, theys, and blondes, and LGBTQ.
I mean, that's the gays part.
Yeah, but all of them.
Well,
The L
obviously,
and the
guys.
B. Guys, can I just say I'm really over this, like, B erasure?
No, literally.
I'm so over it.
And, like, why? Like, and for what?
No, it's just the normal, like, you're not this much for this side and you're not that much for that side. Because I was like, I'm married to a man, it doesn't matter that I'm bi. I'm like, it doesn't matter. But I was like, actually, no, I'm falling for the falling for the bi erasure propaganda.
And you're mad at yourself.
Yeah, no, I got mad at myself. You know who's also gay? A little bit more?
Who?
Maomao.
Maomao is so gay in this episode.
In this episode, yes.
Like, the episode that we have that kind of popped off is Maomao queer-coded.
For sure.
This answered the question.
And the answer is yes.
The solid yes.
I was kind of teasing, we were kind of teasing the, like, Shisui and Maomao shippers because, like, she kidnapped her, and also
They were coming for our throats, too. One comment.
but one, I just didn't like that she kidnapped her, and I'm still not understanding why they kidnapped Maomao in the first place.
I do have a theory, which don't read ahead in my notes.
Okay, I won't. But that, like, entire scene, you just, like, can't ignore the romantic tension in that moment.
They definitely hit us with that
was
for a reason.
Yes, that was intentional.
The showmakers are Shisui and Maomao shippers. What's their,
Animators?
No, the ship name.
Oh.
What's their ship name?
Suimao? Ship?
Maoshui?
Maoshui?
That's kind of cute. Someone commented it.
It kind of sounds like mousy.
Someone commented it.
Maoshui?
They were like, let the
I think it's Maoshui.
shippers have this one.
That's cute.
Which, like, period. I'll let you have it.
Yeah.
I'll definitely let you have this one.
Yeah, for sure.
watching.
You can have this. There's. I was about to say there's not a man in sight in this episode, but there is. There's one.
There's
man.
a lot of men, actually.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Okay, but they're just so unimportant. Okay.
Those are hard laborers. That's actually so classist of you to say.
They're just in the background. They're just background, like, they're NPCs.
Okay, where should we start on this one? By the way, this is episode 45.
Oh, yeah, we're reviewing the Apothecary Diaries, episode 45, I guess.
Season 2.
Season 2. And the last episode ended with just her getting locked up. How did last episode end? All I know is where this episode begins.
Yeah. Last episode
it ended with Jinshi. I'm so sorry.
Oh, yeah.
He was gonna call the banners.
Okay.
That was Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Fuck, whatever.
This is definitely getting more Game of Thrones-esque every single episode.
And, like, in a very, like, dark, like, depressing way. Not even in a fun way.
I did watch this episode with Taylor, and he has only watched a few of these because I watched them the morning of, and sometimes he'll watch with me, sometimes he won't. And he hasn't watched for a little bit, and so he watched, and he was like, wow, this is quite the tone change from what I've seen so far.
It is, because it's, like, a lot of the show is so silly goofy.
No, yeah.
And I was just so taken aback.
We really leaned into Game of Thrones on this one.
Like, and guys, we know Game of Thrones isn't the only, like, medieval political drama show in the world, but it's the one we know.
Would this be considered medieval?
That's actually what I was wondering, and I
would just say historical.
Historical, yeah, that's fair.
Who knows?
But it is, in our defense, the one we are familiar with and the most famous. So
actually, we're, like, in so much defense. Like, how can you possibly blame us, you guys?
It's just, I think it was Malachi, or I don't know. Someone said you can't introduce it as...
It was Taylor.
It was Taylor?
And it's because you did that to Brayden.
Okay,
Brayden
I didn't know that Brayden didn't like Game of Thrones. Like, my bad. Everyone else in the family does. Like, my mistake. But I'm like, the Game of Thrones comparison is so valid, especially in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So it starts with Maomao working on this fucking immortality potion, which she knows is impossible. And
I love that.
Lowland Shisui is standing outside of her door, just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
And then Maomao's like, this is a task that I know isn't gonna work, but I'm gonna go for it anyways because I take pride in my work as an apothecary.
Yeah.
Period.
She's like, I am an apothecary, and Lowland Shisui just hears that through the door, and
she smiles. She just smiles and walks away. This way the smile is animated, when I saw it in the preview for this episode, I was like, that looks evil.
Interesting.
So
maybe they wanted her to still be on the fence for us.
And so she walks away, and then Maomao gets a note.
Oh my god.
This poor kid. This kid.
He is so sweet.
He is. Everyone just calls him the Brat.
Yeah.
What is his actual name? Don't know. Everyone just calls him the Brat.
It's like the doctor.
Literally. So
the quack doctor.
The quack doctor, whose name is Gwen.
A hot girl name.
Yeah, actually, kind of. So Maomao gets the note that says, "You run, I'll distract them." And she's like, "Run where?" Because, like, yeah, where is she supposed to run to?
And she's like, what is this?
And then she hears a commotion outside. And the poor kid, he was, like, picking a fight with the guard so that Maomao could try and run away.
Mm-hmm.
And it obviously doesn't work. And Suirei is the one who is summoned to handle it and punish him. Yeah.
And then she's like asking Maomao, she's like, did you put him up to this? Like, I told you not to try to escape, girl. And she's like, she's just quiet.
She's like,
she's not
I don't
saying
know what you
anything.
guys are talking about. And the kid's like, I was just playing. I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm just playing.
And Maomao's kind of like, yeah, don't admit that you were helping me escape. Because that's, like, bad either way.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, I was just messing with the guard. And Suirei sees the note in Maomao's shirt. And she doesn't say anything.
She's like, what? She's like, okay.
She doesn't want Maomao to get in trouble.
Yeah. Which is interesting. That's why I'm like, why did you kidnap her in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
What was your end goal?
Yeah.
Do you want to tell me your theory now or no?
I can. I feel like it kind of ties in more with
later stuff.
Lowland Shisui, like later in the episode, so we can discuss it there. Okay.
So Suirei's like, okay, whatever, get back to work, and Mama was like, oh, thank God, it was Suirei who was like summoned to handle the situation.
And
Shenmei walks her right the fuck up.
Who comes down the hallway?
She's like, whoa, what's all this commotion going on?
She is so scary.
She's scary. It's her and okay, I keep having this thought every week, and I keep forgetting to say anything.
Okay.
I love that all of the villains in this show, all of the villains and all the heroes in the show, it's just a bunch of boss babes.
Yeah. It's women.
It's women. Like, Maomao's the hero in most situations, but, like, so is, like, Gyokyo and the Dowager Empress and... but also all the villains, like Suirei, especially in the first season, and now Shenmei, just a bunch of boss babes on, like, we support women's rights and wrongs.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I just kept meaning to say that, and I forgot.
Women can do anything men can do, including be villains.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Women can do anything men can do, including, like, start a war.
Exactly.
And, like, dole out cruel and unusual punishment.
Yep.
So she is like, she starts yelling at Suirei and the kid, who calls her mother. The kid calls Shenmei mother.
Literally. Wait, no.
Yes, the kid calls Shenmei mother.
He's talking to the woman behind her.
I don't think so.
Yes, he is. Okay, and I might be wrong that was the envoy, and I'm, like, kind of trying to, like, picture what the envoy looks like now versus the woman. Mm-hmm. So I think you're right about that aspect of it. But there was another woman there with brown hair, just like him, and he was talking to her.
Okay.
And it was just the first time he's gotten to see his mom in a long time.
Okay.
He was not calling Shenmei mother.
Okay. Thank you for that.
It
definitely wasn't the white lady.
I did think it was the foreign envoy, you guys. And I was like, confirmed, told you. Like I said that last week. Justice for me, but apparently it wasn't the envoy. So
no, it was someone that I guessed I didn't even recognize was a character because I can't remember what
she must just be a random, like, lady in waiting or something.
Yeah, I don't think she had a line either. And so Shenmei Oh yeah,
But
Maomao takes the fall.
I have to say, there was a significant moment where he's looking at his mom.
Yeah, and he says
like,
mother.
He's like, mother? Like, he's like, excited to see her, and she doesn't say anything back, but she just looks at him. And she does look like very emotional, kind of, and her hair falls in front of her eye in a very particular way.
Oh.
And I don't know what they were doing with that, but they did, like, focus on it.
Okay. Enough
that, like, especially knowing the show, I'm like, there's something going on there. And that's why my brain also went to the Envoys, because I was like, I wonder if that's the other, because you know how the Envoys have the story that they, like,
switch places.
Yeah, and so I was like, I wonder if he can recognize that that's not his mom.
Okay.
And I think that's why my brain, I also watched this, like, as soon as I woke up, so.
Okay. That's fine.
But, yes. Don't know what's going on there, but probably something.
Yeah, but we're probably never gonna figure it out, actually.
Maybe not.
Not from him.
Yeah. Unless, I don't know.
I don't know, man.
Unless,
So, Maomao takes the fall. She's like, yeah, I tried to escape and I made him help me. And she does that thing again where she's like, these, like, I don't owe these people anything. I should stay quiet. Because that was her go-to back in the day. But now she's like, no, this just pisses me off so much. And she calls Shenmei an old hag.
Yeah, but it's so funny how they do it because you think she's still thinking.
Yeah.
And then she smacks her and you realize she said it out loud.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, she said that out loud.
Oh shit, did I say that?
Literally. And so she hits her. We get, like, serious violence in this one.
Yeah. Yeah,
like, she smacks Maomao with that.
She smacks Sui and she's like,
and she draws
bleeding.
blood, and it breaks.
Yeah. Yep.
And then she licks the blood.
That was so fucking gross and weird and extra. Why?
That was terrifying.
Why did you do that? Yeah, she's bleeding and she licks her and goes, even the most, like, royal blood or whatever tastes rotten when there's, like, a little bit of peasantry in it.
Literally.
Basically what she says.
Like, and who are you?
Literally?
Doesn't have a drop of royal blood.
I'm sorry, are you the empress? No, you're not. Maybe shut the fuck up.
Literally.
Like, you actually aren't related
The
at
emperor
all.
Didn't even... I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna go there, but you could probably...
Tell me what you were gonna say.
Like, I know that's a horrible thing to say, but, like, you know that's, like, why so much of... Like, she has so much evil and bitterness in her that, like, ugh.
Yeah, definitely cut that out, but that's funny.
You guys can guess maybe where my train of thought was going. But
I had a thought. I had an inkling. So, but yeah, that was just so weird. And so she's like, okay, punishing Maomao, what is it? What did she say? I don't even know what the punishment is gonna be. But then Lolan's like, hey.
They're gonna do, like, a water punishment. And Maomao's like, in this freezing cold?
Yeah.
I'm very curious what that was gonna be. Let us know if you guys know.
I don't know.
Waterboarding would be crazy. But then our girl...
Lolan / Shisui is like, hey, I want to use the... I don't know what the box is called.
I can't remember either, but she's like...
It's a word I've never seen before.
Yeah, it's like the Feifa. Like, I'm like, I've never heard a gun called that before.
But basically, she gets escorted to a dungeon.
Yeah. I loved, though, that Lulin was like... She's like, wait, Mom, like, we could use that toy again. Like, we could... What about that like, one thing?
What a great idea.
I know. She's good. She's a good manipulator.
And then, so Momo gets locked in a dungeon... And the guard puts the box down and takes the lid. He's like, don't hate me for this. I'm just following orders.
He's like, I really owe you for saving my butt, but, like, here we go.
Yeah, and so he dips, and Mama, like, describes, like, what it is.
I knew immediately. I was like, it's gonna be creepy crawlies.
Yeah. With, like, snakes and bugs and centipedes and stuff. And they start crawling out of the box. And I knew. I was like, oh, perfect.
This girl's crazy. This was a crazy moment.
So much. She's so funny. So the snakes come out, right? She takes out both her hairpins and smiles.
And what does she say?
Delicious or something?
No, she says something like, this is gonna be fun. Or like something along... She doesn't say this is gonna be fun, but she says something...
This is when the fun begins.
She says something along those lines. And it's like, so funny.
I missed it.
You miss a lot.
I do. I also watch it first thing in the morning. Sue me.
I catch a good amount. Are you, like, on your phone?
No.
Like, how are you missing so much?
You don't remember what the line of dialogue was either.
I know, but you don't even remember that there, like, was a line of dialogue.
No, I remembered. I just didn't think it was, like, significant enough to comment on.
It was. It was really, like, cute and funny.
And what did she say, Becca?
I don't remember, but I remember it was cute and funny.
So, anyways, it goes... I guess it just cuts to later when the guard comes back.
Yeah.
And he's like, why did it have to be me?
And it's, like, smoking.
Yeah.
Outside of the, like, grate in the window of the door. And he's like, what's going on?
He opens the door. Maomao's sitting on the box like a little stool.
Which, that's what I was thinking. I was like, if you were quick enough, you could just turn the box over and sit on it.
If you're quick enough, yeah.
Like...
I'm guessing most people just, like, are too scared and not quick enough to turn it over.
But, like...
Also,
yeah,
that's kind of risky to get to, like, walk to put your hands right on the danger to flip it over.
Yeah, I guess, but...
And also, you gotta flip it over and not dump them out and let them escape.
Yeah, but if you just quickly flipped it over...
I think you're kind of underestimating how hard
but, like,
that is
Maomao could totally have done that.
I don't know.
The right person could totally do that.
She's a frail little girl, I guess.
That's
or
so true.
not a frail little girl. She's a frail grown woman.
So true. She's actually over 30.
Yeah.
She just takes the immortality potion.
Yeah. So he walks in, Mama's sitting on the box like it's a stool and is eating a hair stick skewer of the fucking snake. And she's just having a good time. He's like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, I cooked the snakes over the torch flame. And I took out the poisonous ones first.
She's like, actually, this is like their hibernation time, so all of them are like really like sluggish anyway.
So I guess since they're
queen.
slow, maybe she could have turned it over.
Exactly.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
But
she
was
ate
perfect.
it anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, she ate.
She ate. She always eats.
And she's like, okay, Lolan chose this punishment for me. She like knows that.
Yeah.
And so he's like, okay, well, I'm fucking out of here because the army's on the way and I'm not about this life. I'm over it. So I'm going to run away. You, I guess, can run away also. Don't go that way. Go the other way.
Yeah, he's like, that way is where they're making the guns. So definitely don't go that way.
And Mel was like, got it.
She's like, guns, you say? That's exactly what I was looking for.
She's like, I heard that.
And she immediately takes off. She's hiding, watching them, like, watching all the men that we talked about earlier, the hard workers, the labormen.
I'm sorry for disrespecting you blue-collar workers.
Literally. Come on. But she's, like, hiding, watching them, and then who walks in?
Lolan. And she's, like, she has a giant bag full of silver and is like, everybody run. We're about to get fucked. Everybody run while you can. Here's some silver.
Well, and I'm like, oh, the army's on the way.
Oh, the army's on the way.
Oh, the military's on the way.
Yeah.
Finally.
Exactly.
I'm trying to see my man on his
horseback.
On his freaking noble steed.
Wait, oh my god, we're gonna see him in like nobility, like armor.
Oh my god.
You know,
he's gonna be so manly.
He is, and I'm kind of like, Jinshi wouldn't have killed the kids. But like maybe he wouldn't have killed the kids?
Personally, maybe not, but like I think that there's just an understanding of like how war works.
I get that, but I'm like, I don't know. I guess we'll see, but I'm like, Jinshi's special. He wouldn't do that. He wouldn't order that. He did order the execution of like an old lady who was involved in a plot previously. But like, that's an old lady. That's not a kid.
I just don't know if it would even be Jinshi's call necessarily.
Maybe not. Maybe it wouldn't even be his call.
Maybe Jinshi wouldn't personally call for the kids to be killed, but like,
yeah.
I mean, what are they gonna do?
I don't
What's
know.
a better solution for the kids? Do they just raise them and let them live normal, and then they stage an uprising when they get older?
Unfortunately, that actually probably would happen, like Theon Greyjoy situation.
Yep.
I'm like, unfortunately, you should have just killed that kid. All right, maybe. But
anyway,
I feel
we're
bad
getting
about
ahead
it.
of ourselves.
Yeah, a little bit. So she gives all those workers silver. They take it and run. And she's like, oh, you guys should leave, like, now. And she throws a torch at all the gunpowder and just blows it the fuck up.
And somehow her and Maomao are, like, still
They're
completely
okay.
fine.
They're okay. I'm like, you guys should
Like,
be
that's not how that
a little
works.
more damaged. But the men see that what she's doing and they're like, fuck.
Mhm.
This chick is crazy.
She's nuts.
But like, period. No, she has a to-do list and she's getting it done.
Yep.
She's like, free Maomao, free these workers, blow up the gunpowder, mercy killings, probably kill my mother. Probably, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what her number one to-do thing is.
We'll see.
But
then Maomao is like, hey girl.
Yeah, she's like, oh my god, Lolan, where are you? Oh my god, hey.
And Lolan's like, oh my god, Maomao.
Yeah. She's like, what are you doing
This
here?
is crazy. Like, fancy seeing you
What are you
here
doing?
in the Feifa production room that I just exploded.
And like...
That Maomao is also about to explode. Like, that's so... They are the same.
Yeah.
They're twins.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, they look at each other and like, I guess we'll just call her Shisui because that's what Maomao decides to call
Well,
her.
that's what's interesting is, like, from here, Maomao is calling her Lolan for, like, most of it. And we start to, like, go up the stairs to, like, go into the, like, regular, actual, like, nobility areas. And the whole time, Lolan, Shisui, starts telling Maomao the story of, like, how everything works. And we get a huge lore drop.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, first of all, the thing we were confused about last time, because of things that Suirei may or may not know. I don't know.
I think she does.
Okay. She just made it sound like Lolan's father was her father also.
Yeah, I think she just... That's her story.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah, and I did tell you, I was like, no, I think that there's...
You did.
But...
Is that the lore drop you're talking about?
Well, and... No, he is the father. He is her father.
No.
Yes.
Yes! There's a generation missing that we didn't realize
we did
before.
not consider that there... And, of course.
Yeah,
like, I don't know
so much
why,
sense.
like, the timelines and ages, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know
she
why
wouldn't be Jinshi's aunt. She'd be his cousin.
Yeah, so she's the Emperor's half-sister.
Yes.
And she's Jinshi's cousin.
Yes.
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 So basically, Lolan Shisui drops that Suirei, her sister, is the
granddaughter
of the woman that was, like, preyed upon by the late emperor.
Yes.
That they had ended up kicking out.
Yes.
And the illegitimate daughter princess is Suirei's mom.
Yes. Who was with
I think
here.
I think there's something with, like, I think they were married first, but he was already promised to Shenmei, and so then Shenmei had to, like, get rid of her or something.
Okay.
I think there was something along those lines. It might just be, you know how there's, like, different traditions.
Yeah.
I don't know about Chinese culture, like, how that works, because I know, like, in, like, the older Japan, there was, like, they'd have their, what's the word?
I don't know. What are you saying?
Like, did you watch Shogun?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you gotta watch Shogun.
We actually do.
Talk about Game of Thrones but Japanese. It's so good.
We actually do. Actually, we don't have Disney Plus anymore, so we can't.
I think it's Hulu.
Oh, is it?
I think.
Oh. That might change everything.
That might change everything. Anyway. But yeah, I think it might have something to do with, like, the different cultural, like, with marriage and, like, being promised and everything like that. But yeah, so Suirei's mom is the illegitimate princess that was, like, sent away.
Yes.
And that makes everything make a little bit more sense. Also, it was confirmed that the Suirei's grandmother, the one who was preyed upon, was the storyteller.
Yes, the one who told the story.
The ghost storyteller. And she also was close friends with the other old lady that we know from the clinic.
Yes.
And she also worked at the clinic until she died? ? I saw some discussion on
That's
that.
the only thing that makes sense because those are the only jobs that the older women have.
Yeah, so maybe that's where she was like banished to.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
And Lolin very much believes that it was her ghost, the ghost of that woman who tried to suffocate her. Which I'm like, okay,
very interesting.
And Maomao goes, but ghosts don't exist. And she's like, you would think that. You would say that.
Literally. So that's very interesting. We get a lot of lore. She also starts talking about when she started dressing as a servant and how she just wasn't like dressed up one time and was going to help Suirei, and her mom didn't recognize her and she realized she could just be herself. And she talks about how Lolin is her mom's doll that she just... Her mom was... Okay, this is also the other element to it. Her mom was a... like option for the emperor,
and he just didn't choose her.
And he didn't choose her. The grandma of Suirei question mark was her lady in waiting.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure
that tracks.
And so yeah,
there's that added like resentment.
Exactly. And so there's that added element where she was like thinking she was going to be the empress, and then she didn't get to be. And then, so that's why she's trying to have Lolin be that new person.
Yeah. So, okay. I'm so glad that was confirmed.
Yeah.
Suirei also talks about how, Maomao brings this up. She brings up the horror stories, you know, the time when they were almost suffocated. And she's like, that story you told about the wife eating the husband, you were talking about you and the emperor. And she's like, back when the abortion drugs were going around the palace, were you in on that? Were you using them? And she doesn't say yes or no, but she's kind of like, yeah.
She's like, duh.
She's like,
obviously.
Yeah, but yeah. And she's like, and then the lantern plant you took, and she's like, yeah. And Mom was like, you didn't want that life. You didn't want to eat, or you didn't want to be like the wife who eats the husband.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like Lolin's phrasing specifically of how her mom hasn't seen her actual face since she was like 8 when they started putting her in makeup. And I was like, yeah, she has actually no idea what her kid looks like. And I don't know, that was like I really liked that line because it's just like still relevant. It's just like we were taught to wear makeup like so young. And it's like I can't say no one. Typically, it's not meant as a malicious thing. It's just like, here's this thing that like makes you feel prettier, but it's just like also at what cost?
Yeah, I mean, same with like beauty treatments and plastic surgery and stuff.
Yep.
It's a slippery slope. And that's also the moment where Maomao is like, she wants to ask her like a question or talk to her more, and she is about to say, she's thinking, she's like, Lulin, Shisui? And she says out loud, Shisui. She's like, Shisui? And she like is gonna keep talking, and Shisui smiles just so big. She's like, yeah, so happy. Like, she's like, yes, I just get to be myself, and this is my friend that just gets me.
They're still besties.
They are, and it does a whole montage of their friendship.
Yeah.
And I was watching this with Taylor, and he didn't realize this reveal yet. And he's like, oh, it's that girl? Like, yeah.
Bro doesn't know.
Literally, I'm like, yeah, it is. So onto my theory about why Maomao is even here is, so it's kind of revealed at this point that Shisui is like not a double agent, but like she's going along with her mom's plans, but actually like sabotaging them, kind of. Like she's hooking up with the emperor, and she's trying to use the abortificants. She's like following along in what her mom wants her to do, but she's like kind of messing it up. And I think bringing Maomao along was part of that, because that was like a small unspoken key that like Jinshi wouldn't be able to ignore as long. Whereas maybe like maybe just Lolin going missing and her dad, like, wouldn't have been as big of a deal to Jinshi personally, or like, but I think Maomao and Shisui knew that Maomao was relevant enough to Jinshi that it would be like immediately aware.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's my theory.
Yeah. Okay.
It was more of a sabotage. Like, it was just,
and it was her
every
plan.
step of the way. Yeah, I think that was her plan, not.
And Suirei went along with it, or like had her own reasons for kidnapping her, because Maomao figured out the whole thing previously and figured out who she was.
Or maybe Suirei's in on it with Lolin,
maybe.
Or Shisui. I don't know. Like, maybe they're both trying to sabotage their mom, but
as they should.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sucks. It's like they're gonna die for their mom's crimes.
Or I don't want to do the thing that we talked about earlier, where it's like, why doesn't this character just do this thing?
No, literally.
But I mean, she could have just stayed in the rear palace and just like continued to not get pregnant. But then like, as long as she's there, they couldn't really like invade the capital.
Yeah, I don't know why she had to leave. Maybe she just was ready to leave. She was like, I hate this place.
Maybe.
I hate it here, so I will go to
my military.
Yeah, this military stronghold in my mind.
So, yeah.
So that's
All
a very, like, I don't know, it's a big moment, for sure.
And then they open the door that they were walking up to. And Maomao sees the brat kid,
little boy,
sleeping on the floor, and she's like, ugh, what a sloppy sleeper. And she goes to wake him up.
He dead.
Bro's dead.
He dead.
Kid is dead.
And it's obviously poison.
And a bunch of other dead kids.
Which, like, remember poison?
Why don't we bring back poison? And you know what? I actually realized why we can't do poison anymore.
Okay.
Like, because, like, when I hear that clip, obviously it's, like, silly goofy, but I'm like, yeah, like, why aren't we poisoning people anymore? Like, just kill them. Mm-hmm. It is a lot easier to get caught now with poison than it was back in the day.
And it's also a lot easier to fix poison these days.
Yeah.
We have a whole line for it. We have a whole phone number.
Yeah, so it's like...
we have a whole department.
Yeah, so it's like, first, less chance of it working in the first place, because we can fix that easier. And also, it's just like, if you poison someone, you will, like, very obviously get caught.
Yeah.
So that's why we don't poison people anymore.
Yeah. I kind of more meant throwback to poison, because we haven't really dealt with poison in this show in a minute. Like, that's kind of the OG, but we have not been... Like, where's the poison been?
Actually, we saw poison last episode when she went to talk to Shenmei, and Shenmei had did the same fucking thing and, like, had poisoned a bunch of people that were in her room.
Were they dead?
That's what I thought. Because, like, they looked the same. It looked like they had drunk something and, like, passed out and were dead.
I didn't notice that.
Oh, that's what it looked like to me.
I didn't notice that.
Oh, okay.
So I cannot speak on that. But I just, like, we start this show as Maomao being a poison taster. Yeah. And, like...
And we haven't had to deal with poison for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time we actually dealt with poison? I guess all of the, like, abortion medicine is technically, like, a poison.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's, like... The last time I feel like Maomao as a poison taster was like a thing was when they were telling her she didn't have to do it because the head lady in waiting was going to do it as like a sign of good faith. Remember, for Lady Gyogyo? Yeah. That was the last time I really feel like Maomao as a poison tester was like a
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interesting there. We have poison again.
But Maomao's pissed, and she's about to, like, physically attack Shisui, because Shisui is like, yeah, I read them a story, and I mixed this stuff with juice and gave it to them.
Oh, yeah. By the way, there's not just the little boy.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
There's a whole bunch of other kids on the bed.
There's a bunch of dead kids in this room.
Yeah.
Shisui's like, yeah, I read them a story. I gave them some poison juice. And
she says, I read them a picture scroll. I'm like, that's so cute.
Like, they have scrolls that are like picture books.
That's so cute.
And he showed up later, so he didn't get the story. And then she says, I think he knew what it was. And Maomao's like, what is your fucking problem? And she's like, we're about to get invaded by the army. They're gonna kill all the women and children also. this was a mercy.
I gave them a, like, peaceful death.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, something literally that happens in, like, season 2 of Game of Thrones. Cersei's about to poison her own son when the Lannister army shows up. Anyways.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's like, I get it, but it also is, like, so against human nature.
Yeah.
Where you're, like, you just want to fight to be alive as long as you can at any cost.
Yeah.
And it's, like, I don't know, I think about the, like, Stephen King one where they're, like, where the dad, like, shoots his kid in the, like, because it's, like, a, you don't know this? I'm, like, spoiling it. Everybody knows about this, though.
Pet Cemetery? What are you talking about?
No.
Okay, what are you talking about?
It's like The Mist or something. It's one of those.
I don't know that one.
And it's like a end of the world, not dystopian, apocalypse type thing, and they are about to, like, all the monsters are coming to get them, and they're about to die, and the dad only has one bullet left, and so he kills his son, and then it's actually the military coming to rescue them. It's actually really horrible. It's bad.
Stephen King, what the fuck?
This is like an icon. I can't believe you didn't know about this.
Wow, that's fucked up.
No, it's bad, and that's like
Thank
I feel
you
like
for spoiling that for me, because like I don't want to watch that shit.
It's like it's one that like I feel like most people know, so it's like I don't know.
Oh my god. Okay.
But yeah, like I always think about that where I'm like,
but it's like what if? Because that's what I'm saying. It's like what if Jinshi wasn't gonna kill? Again, it's probably not in his hands. It's probably just like a rule.
So how do they know the military's coming?
They saw like
is this
the smoke and stuff in the distance.
Okay, is this like the Lord of the Rings thing where they like run and light the like different things and like so that they know? When I saw that in Lord of the Rings, I was like, wait, that's genius.
Becca's learning about like old
medieval communication.
Yeah.
No, literally, I never considered that they couldn't just be like, hey, they're on their way.
That's also kind of like what the Great Wall of China was for.
Okay.
Because you run and like light the torches, like station at a time.
I want to go to the Great Wall of China.
I picture it being like so fucking tall, and I guess it's not like that tall. But I guess like compared to like skyscrapers and stuff.
Okay.
But like the length is crazy.
Okay. I want to go there. I think that'd be sick.
That'd be a crazy hike.
Yeah, I wouldn't go to like all of it. I'd just go to like part of it.
I don't know if you could. I don't know if that's possible.
I think so.
Over several days, right?
You don't think there's like a tourist option for the Great Wall of China?
I don't know. Well, I'm sure there is, but I don't know if that would like go over the whole thing.
I just don't think I'm not going to go over the whole thing. I'm just going to go to one part of it.
Okay. I would
don't worry.
Do the whole thing.
Don't worry. I'm just going to go to one part of it. I'm not going to walk the whole thing.
I'm just going to stand on it.
Yeah. I'm just going to take a picture with it
and like
for my
flag.
Instagram. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm only there for the photo.
So true. So, yeah.
That's the ending.
That is the ending. Maomao's dealing with that. Okay. Remember a couple episodes ago where we were like, this episode just kept going? This episode ended so fast.
Blink of an eye.
I was like, what happened?
Blink of an eye.
What even happened in this episode?
Now,
like,
here's the thing.
Uh-huh.
Will our apothecary poison queen
save the kid?
Bring them back to life?
Not
Will the resurrection potion come through?
No.
Okay.
I don't. I think she might be able to say... No, actually, she can't. No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm stupid. I thought maybe since the other kid was, like, later, he drank the poison later, she might be able to, like, save him.
Okay.
But no, she knew he was dead right away because she touched him and he felt dead.
Okay.
So, actually,
what
she
if
can't
they
save him.
gave the kid... What if she accidentally gave the kids or purposefully gave them the...
Oh, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. But
that would
you know
actually be an
what?
interesting technique because then the other, like, military,
Yeah.
they're like, oh, they're already dead, let's leave them be, and then they just can come back to life.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
Interesting.
Maybe.
I'm like, wow,
I'm like,
that's
hope core. We need some hope
No,
here.
well, I'm like, that's an interesting, like, turn for this show to take.
Yeah.
Like, a mass child suicide.
Yeah. But
Mass child murder.
mercy killing. this show handles very serious and, like, dark and depressing topics in such a, like, kind of palatable way.
No nonsense, palatable way, yeah.
Yeah, you know, like the fucking previous emperor being a literal predator.
Mm-hmm.
And that woman before getting executed for accidentally killing the emperor's baby. But, like, you know, like, these people are executed off screen. They just talk about it. And, like, we don't ever see the emperor actually, like, predatoring.
Yeah.
We just, like, know what everyone says.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, like, these very, like, dark things that are animated in a very palatable way. And also the show is, like, silly goofy a lot of the time.
Well, and that's why I'm like, will they really keep these kids dead?
And that's what feels so differently, because we haven't actually seen, like, a dead kid in this show yet.
Yeah.
We've just talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, these kids are dead.
That's the thing. And that's why I'm like, I feel like we might... It's one of two things. Either it keeps the vibe and tone that it has had, and they come back to life somehow. Or the show is taking a drastic, like, tone change. And that could also be interesting.
It could be for now, because, like, let's just kind of war. That's just kind of war, because, like, the war plot was happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it would be interesting if, like, they really do take this opportunity for, like, a serious tone shift, and, like, we start next season kind of with that darker, more serious tone wherever we start it. But I don't think they could just do this. I'll feel really weird if they just do this thing and then it, like, goes back to its regular tone. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think it'll, like, yeah, I really don't know. So it could end, because, like, Lolan's dead also. Lolan will also be executed for sure, which sucks. We like this character. Unless she disguises herself as a servant again and gets away with it.
That'd be wild.
That'd be wild. I kind of want that to happen, though. But, like, everyone but Maomao will, in theory, be killed, and it would be really hard to go back to, like, fun and games after that. But also, immediately after that, we're going to have Gyokyo giving birth, and that'll be, like, a happy... That's probably going to be, like, the very last thing that happens. She gives birth, and it's going to be, like, a happy ending.
Has she not given birth yet?
I don't know. I don't know where we're at.
I assumed she had given birth in our time away.
I have no idea where we're at in this timeline. Maybe she has given birth, but we haven't seen the baby yet.
Yeah, we don't know if it's a boy or a girl.
You're probably right, though. It's probably a boy.
It's kind of got to be a boy to push the plot along.
She's already had a girl. She's already had a girl. I mean, like, if she has a girl, Liwa could have a boy. Because Liwa's pregnant, too.
I just think that would be an interesting turn for them to take.
Yeah.
Like, Lady Gyogyo is, like, the main girl.
Yeah. She's definitely set up that way. Yeah, to us.
And so it's like, why make us fall in love with her character if she's not going to end up being the Empress?
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I saw the username. I wish I wrote the username down. But someone on TikTok said, like, this show is a political drama, but not told from one of the royals or noble people. It's a political drama told from the perspective of a servant. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it kind of is. And, like, it definitely feels that way now. Yeah. It's just, like, Liwa could have easily been, like, the main character.
Yeah, or Gyokyo.
Oh, I'm sorry. I also meant Lolan in the first place. Oh. I'm a fucking idiot.
Okay.
Jinshi could have just been, like, the main character the whole time.
Well, and, I mean, if all goes the way that we expect it to, we also will get to see that servant
become
a noble.
She also, in theory, could be a noble already if she didn't reject her father, her biological father.
Yeah.
But if she accepts him and is just like, okay, I'll take on the clan name, then she's a noble already.
Which she'll kind of have to do if she wants to be with Jinshi, like, for real. So we'll see.
We'll even see if she figures that part out that she wants to. Yeah.
I mean, we've got a lot to go.
Yeah, we do.
But we
right
got
now,
a lot in this episode, and we have 3 episodes left.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But, like, imagine every episode is this much for the last 3.
But it also went so fast.
I know, but we did get a lot of story in.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
I need something Maomao and Jinshi.
I need something happy.
Yeah.
I needed to end with something happy.
Well, so what we're going to get for sure is we're going to get Jinshi riding up on his noble steed.
Period.
Maomao finally accepting, because it's right in front of her face, that he is
the prince.
that he is royal.
Yeah.
She will finally accept that.
Yeah.
And then, and with that, we have Jinshi stepping up, and so that's going to shift. So we'll get that for sure. Maybe next episode. Did you watch the
preview? The
I didn't.
preview shows, it basically just shows, the army arrives, and it shows,
Does it show Jinshi?
It shows Lolan's father basically, like, alone in a room, and I think he's basically just waiting in his room to be killed.
Yikes.
That's the vibe I got from that.
So we've got to see Jinshi and Maomao.
Lock-in. We see, no, not Lock-in. Yeah, we do see Lock-in, but also, Boss-in.
Okay.
And Orly Haku.
But yeah, we've got a few episodes to go, you guys. We've got next week there will be another episode, and then the week after they're taking another break. So we'll have something else planned for you that week. And
that'll be fun though.
This basically this next month, we've got a lot of kind of changes coming that we're really excited for. It's gonna be fun.
Changes is a little dramatic.
I mean, Apothecary Diaries is ending, and with that comes a new weekly recap. And
that's true. Yeah.
We've got some changes and exciting stuff coming.
And of course our bonus episode at the end of the month. But this episode goes out to the Mao Shui shippers.
Yes.
Happy Pride Month to you guys specifically.
Do you think they did that on purpose?
Fucking maybe.
And they gave
could have.
that scene they gave.
That was so, like, you can't ignore how romantic that was.
Like, that scene they gave the Maomao Shisui shippers, like,
and you and I are not people to, like, see a female friendship and just assume it's gay.
Oh, of course not.
I kind of am, but you're not.
Yeah.
But you're not. But, like, even you couldn't, like, watch that scene and be like, oh, they're just besties? No. This is intense.
They set that up. And, like, even how they showed them holding hands, they did a close-up on their hands.
They could have started kissing, and I would have been like, of course.
Of course, like duh.
That's the only logical, like, next step. It would have been awkward if they did kiss, and then Mama was like, you killed all these kids?
Ooh.
That would have sucked.
Yeah, that would have kind of...
But that's basically
what
happened
killed the vibe.
emotionally. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, this one's for you guys.
And then we will... see you next week for a new Apothecary Diaries. Make sure you follow us on social media at Anime for Blondes Pod on TikTok and Instagram.
And make sure that you are subscribed to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you like to listen to podcasts.
Except for Pandora. Fuck Pandora.
Why?
I just hate Pandora.
Okay. Period. I didn't know anybody used it anymore.
No, I didn't either. And then I heard someone using it and I was like, what are you doing?
Honestly, so valid.
And we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Anime for Blondes.